Welcome back to my channel. This is Deep State Politics. And guys, there's been a debate about some young Kenyans have been abducted. And today, in the morning, there were 4 of the 6 that were abducted that has been released. And so the basis of this video is to discuss the whole scenario about the abduction of these young Kenyans, why they were abducted and who had abducted them, and why they have been released. So guys, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. If it's your first time coming across this channel, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this whole scenario. We are coming live from Kenya. These are situations that have been happening in Kenya. And 2 weeks ago, I think precisely during Christmas season, there were 6 Kenyans, young Kenyans, that were abducted, and they got lost from their families. And the reason or the suspicion for the abduction was because they had criticized the government, precisely the executive, and then the guys, after their cartoons and some of the comments they made online, they got lost. And so since then, they have been missing from their families, and no one knew where they were. And the police came out and said that they were not the one who had abducted the victims. And now the question was, who had abducted them? At some point, the politicians came and said that, some of the politicians saying that, this is a scheme that is being done by the opposition to blame the government. And now, since they have been released, can now, maybe, this is my opinion, can they be now questioned on who had abducted them and what was the situation? Kwa sababu, if you look at the whole scenario, since they got lost, the only statement that came from the police, they will say that they were not responsible. And the government itself said they were not responsible. But now the opposition was saying that this is the government doing, because these very Kenyans, the reason why it was perceived they were abducted is because they had criticized government. Yeah, so, well, that was the script from the opposition. And then now the government itself is saying that we are not responsible. In fact, at some point, let me be very specific. Kimani Ichung'wah, who is the majority leader, said that it was the impeached deputy president who was running this scheme so that he can blame the government, and they could create some sympathy. And now, since now the guys are free, I think it's also appropriate maybe for the security agencies and the lawyers to get hold of them. Let them tell us what was the situation, what really happened, and if they were tortured or anything happened, they get to explain what really happened, so that we can get to a closure, or we can get to know really what is happening. Because this whole scenario is beginning to open so many things that many Kenyans did not know. Yes, we have the freedom of speech, and some of the things that they are said to have done, I may not agree with them. However, we have the freedom of speech. We can express ourselves. Some of the things they are perceived to have done, I can categorically say that they were wrong. But we cannot make things right by doing another wrong thing. It says that you cannot, correct a mistake by doing another mistake. So you have to do the right thing. If they did a mistake, they should have been arrested properly, taken to court, and charged for the offense that they had done, cyberbullying for that matter. But it did not happen. Instead, they disappeared. In fact, at this point, we still have two guys who have yet to be released. I don't know their status. Maybe we'll get to, maybe in the course of the week, maybe they are going to be released, or I don't know. It's just a speculation. But since the four have been released, and from the way it has happened, the four were released the same day in the morning, meaning the people are carrying this abduction thing in the same group. It's a group. It's the same group. It's not they were not, the four of them were not abducted randomly by random people. They were abducted by one group, and it's the same group that released them. Because if let's say that they were abducted by different groups, how comes they were all released at the same time? So the suspicion about this abduction being done by the police could be right, could be true. Or maybe if it is not the police, if it is not the people are said to be doing this, then the people who are doing it, it's a group that is doing this, and they know what they are doing. And that's why they release them at the same time. Four of them. So the two who are remaining, what is happening with them? What could be happening with them? Are they safe? Or maybe they became aggressive and they decided to, do something. I don't know what could it be. Okay, so guys, let me know what you think about all this scenario. It's a really sad thing. It's not supposed to be happening at this century, when we have moved from the colonial era, we have moved from the dark, eras where people are getting abducted, killed, and disappearing. At this point, we should use the democracy, we should use the rule of law to get things done in the right way. Okay, so well, it's a good thing that at least now their families have gotten some relief. Yeah, but we still need some questions answered in terms of who had abducted them, what happened to them, and if it's true it was not the police that had abducted them, then I think, in my own opinion, then the police should not really arrest them, but at least take them to custody, question them on what really happened, so that now the people who had abducted them, if it is not the police, now they get to arrest the people who are doing it. Okay, I think that is supposed to be the thing, because now the police came out, issued a statement that we are not responsible. Now, since they are not responsible, let them do this. Get hold of these guys. Ask them, they use forensic analysis they normally do. They can be able to get the fingerprints of the people who had arrested them. And if they get the fingerprints, they can now trace the people who had abducted them, and now we get to know what is it that is happening. Because there has been speculation that there is a special group, the special squads at the 21st floor of which building in town, that is responsible for this undertaking. So I think at this point now, if it is true that it was not being done by the police, they have an opportunity now, because all along for those 2 weeks, they did not do according to the reports that we have, we do not see any effort for them to trace where these guys were. Yeah, so guys, we're just talking, and we just need to find out what is really happening in this country. Yeah, it is good to criticize government, Positive criticism is allowed, but when it comes to a point that people are not safe, when you say something, you get to disappear, then something needs to be done. Okay, so thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this whole scenario. And if you're new to my channel, do me a favor, click that like button, first of all, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this situation that is happening in Kenya. We're going to be doing a tons of video about politics and reaction videos on the things that are happening around us. This is deep state politics. All right, see you in my next video. Goodbye.